Last week, we shared the journey as local veterans flew to Washington, D.C. aboard Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight. Now, the oldest of those veterans, 101-year-old Richard Kyle, made quite an impact on everyone he met. News 4's Gabrielle Mediak and videographer Dan Holland have that story.
We lived right with it, right in the airplane all the time.
You can pack a lot of life into 100 years. World War II veteran Richard Kyle certainly has.
99, I was driving up to 99.
We met Richard on Buffalo Niagara Honor Flight's 11th mission to Washington, D.C. His infectious smile capturing everyone's hearts.
Surprised at the number of people who came up and just wanted to take a picture with me.
Even on a flight filled with heroes, an upcoming milestone set Richard apart.
I will be 101 years old.
He's seen much during that time, the Great Depression, not one, but two pandemics, and World War II, a cause he risked his life for. And while some memories still haunt him, he feels compelled to share them.
I want other people to know. And I'm hearing that even the high school kids, they don't even know when World War II was.
He hopes by doing so, a new generation can get a better understanding of all that our veterans gave.
If it weren't for the activity and sacrifices of those people, we wouldn't have the country we have.
Despite his many accomplishments, Richard remains humble, just like his beginnings out west in Oklahoma. At 14 years old, he and his family moved to North Tonawanda, where he found a passion for music. And a leadership role in the band prepared him for what was to come after graduation.
The band leader from local school was the leader of the 174th Military Band, and he solicited 3 of us from the local area.
It's been 80 years since Richard joined the Army Air Corps, but the experience is something he thinks about every day.
Recollection of so many things happening so rapidly, so fast.
While stationed in England, he served on the ground crew as an aircraft engine specialist.
We made sure that our plane was in its very best condition, everything working and all engines ticking on all 12 cylinders.
But Richard was working in a war zone, something he was reminded of when 2 American planes were damaged by enemy fire.
I did all I could for him that day, but that incident, I contributed significantly to saving 2 lives, but I lost 2. Saved 1 plane and lost 1. But do what you can.
His best friend Dave was on one of those planes, and he tried desperately to get to him.
Finally got the medics there and picked up Dave, and I started to run. I must have gotten less than 75 feet away from the critical area, and I was suddenly pinned to the ground. It was just like, as my kids came along, and they'd be in bed, and I'd tuck the blankets in around them all the way around, and they felt good, and that's the way I was tucked into the ground. It's hard to imagine what a heavy blast can do to you.
Decades later, Richard carried Dave's memory with him on one last mission to Washington, D.C.
It means so much to us. We thank all of those who have made it possible.
Thank you for your service, Richard.
It's a journey he felt he needed to complete in his fallen brother's honor.
Yes. Yes. It was a tribute to him as well.
Richard never let the scars of the past stop him from moving forward. He returned home from the war and married the love of his life, Jane. They had 4 beautiful kids together, and he turned what he learned in the war into a career, spending 32 years at Bell Aircraft.
The last 16 years, I was one of the program managers on the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, the Minuteman. Minuteman was a code name.
Retiring 4 decades ago, Richards found plenty of ways to stay busy, including volunteer work.
I've kept mentally active and physically active, and I think that's important for anyone's retirement. Don't retire to the front of a television set. Make yourself worthwhile. Make yourself worthwhile in the community.
An important lesson from a journey now spanning more than a century. A man who, like the rest of his generation, changed the world.
But I made it home, and I've had a good life.
Gabrielle Mediak, News 4.
Wow, what a story. And that's just one veteran. If you have a veteran in your family, make sure that you listen to them, get their story, maybe just even hold up your phone to them and record their memories. This is so important. It's part of the fabric of our country, isn't it? So God bless Mr. Kyle. And thanks also to Gabby Mediak and Dan Holland, who did such a wonderful job on this trip. They really only had 24 hours to record everything, and we've seen these magnificent stories coming from there, Todd.
Every time the Honor Flight brings back just these incredible images and stories that you just wouldn't have heard otherwise. So incredible work they do, and I'm glad we're able to honor the veterans that way.